Hey guys, I'm Brian with Knox Company, and let me show you how I installed this recessed lighting. So some of the equipment that I'll be installing are these 4-inch LED retrofit housings. They're made by Sunco. I found them on Amazon and you can buy them in bulk. They have the T-Peak 24 connectors, and then when you have these, you also need your lights, and these are the 4-inch LED retrofit lights. They come with the TP24 connectors as well. And just in case you already have recessed lighting in your house and you want to go LED, you can just buy these lights. They come in 4 and 6 inch options, and they have the TP24 connector, and they come with an adapter that will actually screw into the housing that you already have. And then you can just switch over all your lights to LED and maybe save some money and get a longer life out of these. They have a really cool, clean, modern look, so it might be something you want to do. But the room we're in now doesn't have any recessed lighting installed in it, so I actually have to install these, run power to these housings, and then install those lights. So let's get to it.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is getting ready to mark the placement of each light, and one of the main things you want to do is make sure that there's some symmetry in the room. If the lights are off or they don't align correctly, your eyes are going to catch it. So make sure that you have it divided evenly and that they're placed right where you want them. Measure twice, cut once, that's always the rule. So the other thing here is I used a stud finder to make sure that where I wanted to drill the holes for the lights, it wasn't going to be sitting right over a rafter. And luckily I did do this because where I initially wanted to put the lights, it was actually going to sit right over one of the rafters. So I had to adjust a couple inches over, and luckily I had some room to do that. After finding out where the rafter ran, I go ahead and mark each one and then repeat that process a couple more times around the room and making sure that everything lines up. I used a piece of tape just to make sure that I could move it if I need to. I didn't want to be marking on the ceiling a bunch with the pencil. And as you can see here, I then just repeated that process and I was ready to go ahead and start drilling. So not too hard, takes a little bit of math, but you can do it.
All right, so I got this Milwaukee adjustable hole cutter. Comes with a little guard and comes with this adjustable blade here. The reason I got this was because of its versatility. I didn't want to buy a 4.5-inch hole cutting blade or bit and only be able to use it for that ever. And I've seen people use these, they're usually pretty good. Milwaukee's a good brand. So the other thing is I was gonna make my own dust catch. This one comes with one, so they had me sold. And I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. And you can adjust it all the way up to 7 inches, or it looks like maybe 7.5 inches. The other key thing was the instructions on the LED lights say that they want a 4 3/8 hole. Not quite 4.5, right? But the only actual hole cutting bit I could find was 4.5. And you know, drywall, like once you cut it, it's gone, and then trying to get that light fixture to fit in there correctly might be tough. So figured with this I could kind of customize the size and make it exactly what I wanted. There are some presets, but I measured it. I'm able to do it right here at 4 3/8, just like what I wanted and just like what I asked for. And then if I have to go a little bit bigger, I could always widen it, but I'd rather try to get a tight fit the first time. And this thing looks like it's gonna do it. So let's see how it goes.
All right, so putting this thing together wasn't too bad. It was pretty straightforward. It has a little spring-loaded feature in the middle there, and then there's a quick disconnect for the drill bit. Once you remove the drill bit, it actually allows you to adjust the diameter of the hole you want, and there's some pre-designated sizes there. Once you have it set where you want, you put it back into the fitting, and then that just attaches right to your drill, and you're ready to go. So one thing I do like about this is that it has a little spring-loaded feature so that as you're pressing it up against the ceiling, it helps keep that dust collection nice and tight and really doesn't allow anything to escape. So minus the fact that I was too lazy to go get my good drill, this thing worked like a dream. As you can kind of see here, I had to stop and start a couple times because the battery on this drill doesn't last very long, and I just had no juice. But the blade is sharp and it cut right through the drywall. So just after a couple start and stops, I was able to drill right through it. And then you can see all the dust collecting there in the little dust collection. And boom, there you go. Nice clean hole. Everything's right there. You can just tip that out right into your trash can. And as you can see, perfect. So the next thing I wanted to do was do a little test fit. Make sure that I didn't have to make any adjustments to the hole cutting bit. And first try, it was perfect. It's exactly what I needed. There's gonna be plenty of room for this thing to fit in there. And one thing I did find out though is that this first hole that I cut, it was almost too close. I have very minimal room next to that stud, and just make sure you're not cutting too close to it. I gave myself just enough room, but you wanna make sure there's nothing there blocking it where those clips have to secure. Repeat the process a few more times and you're ready to go.
All right, so I got all the holes cut in the ceiling for the recessed lighting. That Milwaukee tool is a dream. I recommend it. I haven't done recessed lighting like that before. All the stuff I've always done is like a new build. So going in for old build and having to pop in holes and everything, that tool's the best, so I love it. Now I'm gonna have to actually run some electrical wire between the different holes, and to help me with that, I'm using this Clean Tools fishing line. They call it like a fishing tape, but basically it's a really rigid metal wire or a cord band that will actually help you be able to direct where you want it to go to without bending or maybe pushing through stuff. I've done stuff like this before where I just kind of fed it along the stud, or I fed it down because it was a short distance and there wasn't much insulation in there. But because there's a lot of insulation in the ceiling, I need something that's more rigid and that's probably made to do this job. So Clean Tools makes a lot of electrical equipment, electrical tools. So I picked this up. It was like 20, 25 bucks again. I'll probably use it for a lot of other things. I have a lot of other projects I'm doing, so I didn't mind investing in it. But it's pretty easy to use. If you want to wind it back up, it just spins around. I mean, it's a great tool, and so I'll show you how it works and how I kind of use it on this.
So it took me a couple tries to actually run this fishing tape from one hole to the next. I was running in some insulation. I had to adjust it a couple times, but it wasn't too hard. Luckily, the fishing tape did what it's supposed to do, and it allowed me to feed it in the direction I needed. I knew that the holes were about 3 or 4 feet apart, and there's some markings on that fishing tape to let me know how much of it is actually out. So once I had about 4.5 feet, I set it in place, and I was able to actually find the other end pretty easily. Once I did that, I pulled it through and I taped the end of the cable to that, fed it back in reverse, and then I had the power line pulled through. So I just repeated that process a few more times and I was ready to go. Next was pulling the power, and make sure you turn off your breaker before you mess with the power. After I moved the ceiling fan, you can see I have the white, black, and red being the power, and the power goes to the 2 far right switches there. There's a red and a black. Those are my hot lines. What I wanted to make sure is that I had the black still ran there for the fan, and I was going to use the red for the recessed lighting. Here you can see I used a metal fishing tape, but I still had to use this wooden dowel that I actually made. It was really tough getting through all that insulation, and I needed something a little bit more firm to actually guide through the insulation. So I used that wood dowel that I made to actually pierce the insulation, and then I fed the fishing tape alongside that wooden dowel. After a couple tries again, I was able to get that cable all the way through there to the other hole. So this allows me to actually run the power from the ceiling fan mount across to that other recessed lighting. Now it's just a matter of running that cable through that housing there where the fan was mounted, making sure that everything is back where it was. And now that red line is going to be attached to my black hot line that runs over to the recessed lighting. The black line is still going to run the fan, and then the red hot line is going to actually be the one that runs the recessed lighting. So you can see here that there's 3 cables coming through that hole where the power comes, Everything else has 2 or 1 where the cables just jump across from each hole, and that allows me to have the lights all daisy chained together. Next step was just mounting and installing all the lights. It's pretty simple with a lot of these newer modern lights. All you have to do is strip back about 3/4 of an inch of the cable, and they have these little fittings that you can just push the cable into the wire housing, and it just pinches down on it. You just push the wire through, and it allows you 2 or 3 wires to be put there, so you can still daisy chain your lights together, and everything will be linked together at the end of it, and it's super fast. You just have to repeat this process a couple times. I think that the longest part was really just moving the ladder, because nowadays they've made it so simple for you to be able to connect these lights together. But after that, you secure the little fittings inside the housing, and boom. So what I have here is a dimmer switch. It's actually made specifically for LED lights. They have a couple different options at the store, but I figured I'd get the one that actually stated it was made for LED lights. Hopefully it gives me a better feature when you're trying to dim them. So now you're gonna go ahead and remove the switches from the wall. Make sure you still have your power off. There's 4 switches here. One of them goes to outside lights. The second one I thought actually went to the fan, but I found out the hard way that it was still live. It actually went to the wall socket. So the third one actually goes to the fan, and the 4th one is the wire that I actually need to use for these recessed lights. So I'm gonna move that one all the way over to the second one and flip-flop that one with the light switch. So being very careful, I was able to move those wires over, and since the power was off to those lights in the ceiling, I was able to disconnect the switch and install this dimmer switch with no problem. If your power's off, it's no problem trying to adjust these wires, but again, be very careful when you're messing with electrical. Just don't do it without turning those breakers off. Once you have your switch wired in, you can go ahead and mount it all back up onto the wall. And I like to leave the screws a little bit loose because I've probably moved everything around so much, it's not going to align right. So you can actually use your plate cover as a template and then hold it up on there and tighten down the screws on the switches so that everything's in place. Once you have that all done, you can go ahead and secure that back, and then you can just pop your plate cover right back on, and it looks nice and clean. Then you're ready to go ahead and install your recessed lights. These are the 4-inch recessed LED retrofits. Like I said, they come with adapters, but in this case, since I've installed the new recessed cans, they're gonna plug right into the housing. So they have these little fittings, they connect right together. It's super simple, and then you just pop them right in. It's probably the fastest part of this whole thing. It's the most satisfying seeing it there nice and clean. And like I said, it has a nice modern look. Go ahead and repeat that process a few more times, and you are ready to go.
All right, that's a wrap. So, what do you guys think? Pretty nice lighting, right? So, hope you guys liked the video. Tried to be as in-depth as I could be without going too long, but just wanted to show you guys how you could do it yourself. Don't be afraid to try it. There's tons of videos out there. I use some videos to kind of answer some questions, and don't be afraid to do it yourself. Save some money. It's not that hard. And once you start learning things, it starts adding up, and next thing you know, you're gonna be installing who knows what. You know, you can save some money and do it yourself. Why not? And that's it, guys. It was really fun, really easy. It kind of went the way I hoped it had gone. A couple hiccups, but nothing that we couldn't figure out. So, hope you guys liked the video. I'm gonna try to make more videos of the stuff I do. I do things like this all the time. I just never get the time to put the camera out there and then edit it and spend all the time doing that. So I'm gonna try. Let me know if you like it. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. All right? See you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right?